Hello, and welcome. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you are lurking, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button if you enjoy the content. So, I want to talk about the future of gaming. The future of gaming eventually is going to be um, kind of like Stadia. Well, my interpretation of Stadia is a little different, but Stadia is part of the future of gaming. It's going to be the cloud based gaming where you download nothing, everything is just instant, instantaneously, just, you're good to go. Kind of like way back in the day where, like, when the Nintendo era, like the NES era, the Super Nintendo, where when you buy a brand new game or you get a new console, you literally just plug it in, you put the game in, and then you just start playing right away. Um, that's the future that we're going to be going to in the foreseeable future, maybe like a few years from now. But certain companies are definitely laying the groundworks for that future. Stadia was the first one I want to say Stadia was the first one to kick it off, but I'm sure there's other companies. I think PlayStation Now was. I want to say PlayStation Now has been around for a minute now, and then Stadia came out with the whole um, just cloud based, and it's a really neat idea, but they're, in my opinion, I think their downside is the fact that you have to pay full price for those games. Unlike xCloud and Amazon Luna. When Amazon Luna comes out, now that's something that I'm really interested in trying. I have signed up for the beta on several different emails because I really want to try it. Because I like that idea where I'm paying just a certain amount of price, kind of like Netflix. You pay a set price and then you get the content that you want. So not being able to hold on and hoard some of these games is nice because then you don't have a ridiculously large catalog that you're never going to get into. Like if I log into my Steam accounts right now, you'll see it's way out of hand. The same thing with my gaming collection. It's like right there, and it's I don't know. Can you see? You kind of can see it a little bit. It's that rack over there, and it's got like a huge collection of games. So I do like the Amazon Luna's idea where, like I said before, you pay a set price and you have access to a game. So if you want to play that game, just play it, beat it, and then move on to something else. Um, yeah. So Amazon, it's a neat idea. And if you want to buy a different companies, like if you want like Ubisoft, then you just pay like an additional 14, I think it's like $14 plus Amazon Luna charges you $5, so you pay a total of $19 and you have access to that full library, and you don't have to download anything. Everything is run off the cloud. Okay, besides that, there is a problem with cloud gaming, and that is the infrastructure. The infrastructure is not there yet. There's a lot. There's a bunch of, I don't know how to say this. Internet is not worldwide. Not a lot of people have internet, and if they do, they don't have a very fast connection. So that becomes the bottleneck. And then also in the United States, there are states that have what is it called? They have data caps. That's what I was looking for. So anyway, let's get into this topic now. So it looks like Comcast is going to impose a home internet data cap of 1.2 terabyte in more than a dozen United States next year. After customers hit the threshold, they'll be charged $10 per 50 gigabyte, up to $100. So that's the problem right here with streaming, especially now with the whole pandemic thing. Everybody is staying home, and guess what they're doing? They're consuming a lot more content, using a lot more internet, and these mofos right here want to raise the fucking price and put data caps under you. And what sucks is there's a monopoly when it comes to the cable industries, because you could be living on a certain area and a certain company will not go there. Like the only thing that's available in that area is either Comcast, Frontier, or Spectrum's. I don't know who's owned by Spectrum. I think Comcast owns Spectrum too. So there's not a lot of competition, and when there's no competition, guess what? You're pretty much stuck to whatever company that's in that area, and you can't go anywhere else. Oh, and I forget, I think AT&T also. So let's go into the article. I know this video is going to be long, so just yeah, just stay in there with me, and we'll get through this together. Okay. This sucks, by the way. I don't agree with this. I think there shouldn't be no data caps when it comes to home internet, because when especially if you're streaming or you're downloading your games, especially with the next gen, with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, the file sizes are fucking huge. Call of Duty Black Ops, with everything in the game, it was 133 gigabytes. 133 gigabytes. That's a lot. Can you imagine downloading that over the internet if you don't have the physical disc to kind of like compensate for the rest? But yeah. So anyway, I feel like I'm getting sidetracked here because I'm just upset about this. In January and February, Comcast will give its Xfinity customers not an unlimited plan credit for any data usage charges of 1.2 terabyte during those months to ease them into the new limits. Then, starting in March, non-unlimited customers who exceed 1.2 terabyte in a month will be charged $10 per 50 gigabyte of data for a maximum of 100. Customers who go over the limit will get one courtesy credit per 12 months. So if you go over 1.2 credits in March, you will get a grace period for April. And if you go over again in May, you'll pay $10 for each block of 50 gigabyte up to $100 max. Customers will be notified as they approach the 1.2 terabyte threshold. The affected states include Connecticut, Delaware, Massachusetts, Maryland, Maine, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Vermont, West Virginia, and the District of Columbia, as well as parts of North Carolina and Ohio. And according to them, 95% of the customers don't even get close to much data per month. Over the last 6 months, the median monthly data use was around 308 gigabyte. Are you kidding me? That's like Call of Duty and something else. There you go. That's more than 300 gigabytes already. So if they have, I'm sure they have gamers on those side. On all these states, there's gamers in all over the world, but I'm sure they have gamers. They utilize way more than this. There's more people staying home now than ever. And I think this will be taking place next year, I believe, is when they want to roll it out. And if they're successful in rolling this out in those states, if they don't speak up and go against it or try to find somewhere else to go, then they will be successful and they will implement this data cap, which I disagree with, especially when we're trying to move on into the future of cloud gaming. We need unlimited data. We don't need data caps when it comes to cloud gaming, because that is the bread and butter of the whole system, where you're just having to play all those high definition games. Especially if you're streaming a game or streaming into your device at 4K resolution, that's going to take up a lot of data, and 1.2 terabyte is not enough for you to utilize that kind of, high definition, high quality looking visuals. So there you go. So that's going to be a problem, especially for me. I know I use way more than that data, because in my house we stream everything. We stream on Hulu, Netflix, and utilizing a lot of internet. So that 1.2 is not going to cut it. Can you sense the frustration in my voice and my sighs? Because this is bullshit. Comcast announced in March that it was suspending its data cap policy for 60 days and would not charge overage to home internet customers who exceed its broadband data caps. It also said that it would raise the speeds for customers on its internet essential tiers. Its broadband plan for low income. Comcast was also the provider and committed to keeping Americans connected pledge, which Federal Communication Chairman Ajay Pai, that guy's a piece of shit. Just my opinion. If you love him, that's on you. I don't like the things that he has implemented as being the CEO or the commissioner in charge or the chairman in charge, he has implemented a lot of for company instead of trying to be for the consumer. The government is supposed to be working for the people, not the corporations. But I digress. Participating companies agreed not to terminate service for residential and small business customers, waive any late fees incurred because of the economic effects of the pandemic, and open access to public Wi-Fi's hotspots to any American who needs them. The Keep Americans Connected pledge officially expired at the end of June. However, Comcast said at the time that it was working with customers on flexible payment options work for them. Yeah. Okay. So, in closing, these are just going to be my final thoughts. I am totally against data caps, especially when it comes to how we are right now. But I don't know how it's going to be in the foreseeable future. But especially in the gaming industry, it seems like to me that the future is going to be in streaming. That's where it's going to be going eventually. And I love that idea, but the infrastructure is just not there yet, especially with companies doing the data caps. And then there's just monopoly where there's no competition at all. Like certain areas, you're only just stuck to a specific company. Where I live at, I think I do have Comcast here or Spectrum. I don't know. I think they got, no, that's right. It's not It is Spectrum because it used to be Time Warner. So Time Warner got bought out by Spectrum. That is right. And then yeah. Anyway, so in my area, I have Frontier, and then I also have what is it, Spectrum. But right now, I am with Spectrum, and I get it's pretty decent, I guess. Unlimited data cap, which is awesome because I do download a lot of stuff. And I stream and do other stuff and stream on the computer, streaming on the game consoles, playing online, downloading games, and just doing a bunch of stuff. So I need that fast connection. So, like I said before, these are all just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below on what your thoughts are. Do you agree with me like this is bullshit and it shouldn't be implemented, or do you just kind of like you feel like you're okay with this? Because if you're streaming on 4K on Stadia, you're gonna be running through a ton of data. I know that for a fact. I think somebody else did the calculations on how much data you will be utilizing if you want that high resolution streaming. Oh, and my camera turned off, but we will keep on talking because oh god, my camera just turned off for a second. Sorry about that. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Stadia, yeah, like if you're streaming on Stadia 4K, you want the best visuals, and unfortunately, if you have a data cap, you can't run that. It's not going to work out very well for you. So, like I said before, these are just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, this is somewhat unbiased. Make sure to like and subscribe if you love the content. Just enjoying you watching the content at all. I appreciate that. And you have yourself a good one. Again,